Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads here on Friday, the 1st of October. It actually is my sister's birthday today, so happy 29th birthday, Mrs. Steph. I was going to say a surname then, but I don't think I will. I was going to say a surname. We'll keep that away from me. But our kid, happy birthday. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is your video game news for Friday. It's the last one of the week. It's been a hell of a week so far, and we have got 4 news stories that'll carry you through to the weekend. Again, this is the video game show that we bring to you each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. It's actually 10 to 11 right now. We went live at 10:45 today. So yeah, there's been a few more fires been put out this morning in terms of work. And yeah, it's just me because Graham is out. Is it the 11-year anniversary today? Wedding anniversary? Might be 10 years. I'm not too sure, but it is just me this morning. So this is going to be what you guys giving the name to this, which is a dollop, where you're only going to have the one host rather than the 2 that you come to expect. But don't worry, he'll be back on Monday, as will I, as we go through and kick off your week. But I hope you've been well timed with Solon here nice and early this morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning to you. Ads dropping his MC Fixer emotes into the chat as well. Welcome. Hope you've had a good evening, and I hope you've slept well last night. But again, as we mentioned, we go live each and every single day at 10 a.m. ish. This is a video game newscast, news podcast. It's UK's number 1, if we do so ourselves. You know, we are 460. I think we're 460 episodes in as we started this 2 years ago. That is one hell of a record, if I'm being honest. I know we do this every single day, and I don't think there is many other UK podcasts that potentially do it every single day, because it is a lot of work. Let's be honest. You're going in every morning, you're creating social assets, you're rounding up all the news articles, and you're trying to get live before 10 a.m. It is very difficult. You will probably have to get up a lot earlier and start a lot earlier, but we do our best to try and go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.ish, try and give you some news, obviously during the morning, because people are going back to work now. Not a lot of people are able to join in the live content, which is absolutely fine, because we turn this in to an audio podcast and a visual one for the YouTube Mandem over there as well. So if you are listening on any of our on-demand services, then please hit a like, hit a subscribe, hit a follow, regardless of what program that you're using, to be able to listen to this. And we would very much appreciate it. But the benefit of you guys that are doing this live is obviously we can have your thoughts and impressions on top of our thoughts and impressions, and then we can give you our thoughts and impressions on your thoughts and impressions right now live. And that's just the benefit of it. Obviously, you guys over on demand services, you can fast forward this bit if you want to, you can pause it, you can go and do the pots, you can come back, you can go make a brew, you can do whatever you want to do. But you guys that listen to this live, obviously you have the chance to be able to interact with us, very much like you guys are already doing in the chat this morning. So we very much appreciate that. We will be going live after this again today. This is obviously just a cheap plug. I don't know necessarily what it is that we're going through. I've been mentioning that I have got a backlog of games. So whether or not I end up playing something like Mafia, I'm not too sure. May end up jumping on with some Sandstorm, Insurgency Sandstorm afterwards again. I don't know. We'll figure it out afterwards as we go through. But we have got a backlog of games that I want to get done before my baby boy arrives in January. Because obviously gaming time will fall off a cliff. So I want to get them done and dusted before, more new games come out. Because we've got Back 4 Blood arriving in, is it 7 days now? A week today it comes out. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of time up in it, let's be honest. So, yeah, it's one of the things we're trying to get through our backlogs. I'm sure you guys have them as well. So, anyway, we have got 4 news stories today. I have mentioned, and obviously if you have seen our social media posts, I haven't got a chat bot on, so I will do that now, that Sony have acquired a new studio. Now, when it comes to buying studios, Sony don't necessarily just go gung-ho and start buying them left, right, and centre. You can still hear, the noises going on in my nose? I apologise for you guys. But yeah, they don't necessarily go gung-ho and start buying a load of studios just to acquire them. They usually buy them for a reason, and it's not just to have them on the payroll. It's usually to try and have them to be able to create good video games, and that isn't a dig over at what Xbox have been doing and Microsoft, because they have been buying decent studios, just that we haven't seen much from them yet. So hopefully that will change over the coming years. But in terms of buying a top tier video game studio, Sony have gone ahead and they've bought Bluepoint Games. Let's bring this onto the screen. Sorry, I was trying to build suspense there. I don't know whether or not that actually worked. But anyway, written by Ishraq, Subhan. over at Eurogamer. They state that Sony buys Demon's Souls remake developer Bluepoint Games, and they're working on original content right now. 1 second. There we go. Bluepoint Games has joined PlayStation Studios following Sony's acquisition of the developer. This is a big boon for PlayStation. Bluepoint Games is renowned for its exceptional remasters and ports, of which many are PlayStation titles. The developer last project was PlayStation 5's remake of Demon's Souls, which received high acclaim and 1.4 million sales at launch. It received similar praise for PlayStation 4's remake of Shadow of the Colossus. Bluepoint has also brought in the first 3 Uncharted titles onto the PlayStation 4 as part of the Nathan Drake collection, but Bluepoint has bigger ambitions. In an interview with IGN, Michael Thrush, yeah, that's Thrush, okay, just making sure that I haven't butchered that. President of Bluepoint Games says, our next project, we're working on original content right now. We can't talk about what it is, but the next step is the evolution for us. Our team is a very highly experienced team. The average experience amongst most people is about 15 years, and all of them come from original development. It's not like we're a bunch of developers that got trained up on making remasters and remakes. We have that original game development mindset at our hearts, and that's what we're going to do now. We're ready. We're finally ready with the support to Sony push us forward and show us what we can do, and what also PlayStation can do. In a post on the PlayStation blog, head of PlayStation Studios Herman Hulst said, with each of its projects, Bluepoint has raised the bar on console-defining visuals and gameplay, and the studio's vast expertise in a world of building characters and creation will be a huge plus for more future PlayStation Studio properties. It's no secret that PlayStation has plans not just to remaster or remake older titles, but also has ambitions to port more titles to PC, including Uncharted 4. Sony has been on quite a spending spree just yesterday, and it was announced that Manchester-based Fabric Games were also joining PlayStation Studios. In July, Sony acquired Nixes, who is well known for its PC ports, and in June, it bought Returnal developer Housemarque. Okay, so that's it's quite a meaty news article to kick off today. They've managed to acquire a studio that has a history in creating ports, very obviously well-renowned ports like the Nathan Drake collection, and also very recently the Dark Souls one. So they're claiming at heart they have a interest in creating original content, and they have 15 years worth of experience in doing so when it creating video games, which is unbelievable, really. In terms of people who you see nowadays, a lot of people not just jumping ship, but moving to different companies because the direction that they wanted in their ambitions probably might not be being met in terms of the company's not doing too bad. It's just that they want to work on something else. So to have an average working age of 15 years in the industry, having been working there, that is unbelievable. So to create new video games, you'd expect them to do really well out the gate. I mean, they've got a history, like we've mentioned, about the likes of Demon's Souls, most recently, obviously, and then the Nathan Drake collection being ported and remastered and things like that. They've done a very, very, very good job of doing so. And PlayStation don't just buy up the market just to have them under their umbrella. And that sounds like a PlayStation fanboy statement, but in terms of what they've managed to achieve over the last, I don't know, we'll call it 8 years, with the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 came out in 2014. So we're looking at about seven or 8 years around that bracket. Obviously, we're going into 2022 now. So having first single player games, they've knocked out the park. Like when it comes down to first party titles, there's no argument. There is no middle ground of what both consoles, and we're talking about Xbox and PlayStation at this point. There is no middle ground in this. They have knocked it out of the park, and they have bought another studio that does that very well for them. Obviously, with the Shadow of the Colossus, very recent as well over the last 2 years. So it's they tend to buy well. They're not just like Xbox, who are just buying Bethesda because they have the money to do so. That isn't what I'm saying. But obviously, Xbox buying Bethesda is such a huge thing for them later down the line. That isn't something that's going to generate the money back right now. That's something that they're going to try and get back over the next 8 years, but very much like what PlayStation planned for 8 years ago. So I think they're both in two different markets at this moment in time and two different paths. And they'll both eventually get to the same place. It's just PlayStation are 8 years in advance in that regard. Obviously, you've got things like Halo that will coming out very, very soon. That's going to change the way that the way that Xbox users are going to be playing their games into, again, in terms of, I feel like I'm having to back myself up. I shouldn't have to do this, by the way, because anyone who listens to this podcast knows that we both love both consoles anyway. But it's just that PlayStation have been knocking out the park more recently, and I don't think that's even an argument that anybody can have. Like, when you have both sides of the coin, Xbox do everything else right. Like, their marketing of their products and having Games Pass and stuff like that is revolutionary. Having xCloud, having smart delivery, having backwards compatibility all the way through to your original Xbox games. Like, they do some things that PlayStation don't do, and they do it very, very well. I feel like this Halo game that will be coming out, obviously you can play it this weekend if you are an Xbox insider. This is the start of their new generation this weekend, in my opinion. This is where Xbox should potentially now start to shine. This is where their next gen experience and the start of their next gen experience begins this weekend. I know it's only a playtest, but you've got the game coming out, and from all intents and purposes, it's been a very, very good trial period for the Halo community. So yeah, I think this is a new generation for Xbox, but in terms of what PlayStation are doing right now, I'm very interested to see where this is going to lead them, because they've been known as a company that has been putting out ports for well-renowned video games, whether or not it's from PlayStation 3, 2, it doesn't matter. These guys have been creating a brand new video game off of the back of old IPs. So yeah, this is very interesting. I don't think we're going to see anything from this for the next 2 or 3 years, but it's the start of something. And PlayStation have got some fantastic studios underneath their umbrella now, so they could probably release, I don't know, a first party game every 3 or 4 months, and be able to do very, 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 very well with that. Be able to make a lot of money. So it's interesting to see where they both are going to end up with this. What's this Game Pass? Never heard of it, says Tito. Good morning, Shagger. How are you doing? It has worked, unlike half of Salford. It worked. What worked? I'm not too sure. Was that the news coming up on the screen? I'm not sure, Rats. But yeah, that's a big news article. I'm happy with that one. It's a big company to try and bring under your umbrella, and they've managed to do it. I mean, would it have been a detrimental effect to them if obviously they ended up working under a different company? Then probably, yeah, I imagine so. Game Pass is changing how games are consumed. Absolutely, exactly. They are, and it's how long that can be sustainable for. I hope it's sustainable forever, because I'm a subscriber to it, and I definitely I downloaded a game. What did I download yesterday? I haven't played it yet, because I was just busy all day yesterday. I've downloaded it. What's it called? I'll figure it out in a second. I've just got the app loading up now. It's a game that I probably wouldn't have ever downloaded anywhere else, put it that way. But I've got the opportunity to be able to play it. And I'm kind of into these card and board games at the moment. Tainted Grail Conquest is what it's called. And you can buy it for £17, or it's included with Game Pass. Awaken Realms Digital are the people who've created it. So Tainted Grail Conquest is what it's called. And it just looks like, people have probably been playing these types of games for a while now, but have you seen like Raid Shadow Legends, that kind of vibe? But you have cards to be able to attack, so you have to plan your attacks, basically. I don't even know if I'll be able to bring this up on screen because it's a completely different app. But yeah, go ahead and have a look at it. It's on Games Pass at the moment. It's a game that maybe this is one that I want to play this afternoon. I'm not too sure. We have obviously got games that we can play this afternoon. This could be one that we start off with, but I do want to get Mafia finished before anything. So yeah. That Tainted Grail Conquest, you've got the ability to be able to pick up games like that at will, ones that you may not want to spend £17 on, but you're willing to give it a try. So yeah, it's mint. Timeless Soul says it's a great thing for smaller companies, give them a platform. It's great for gamers who don't have £100 to spend on new games every month. That is me. I don't have £100 to be able to spend on games. So I've got the ability to be able to pay £8 a month because I've got Game Pass for PC. Oh, is it Game Pass Ultimate? I can't remember. It's one of the two. It's like £8 a month or whatever. And it's like Netflix. I can play it on my Xbox. I can play it on my PC. Jobs are good. And I'm not losing out there. Tino says Game Pass works for the modern game structure as it gets players involved in the game. Otherwise, won't be able to play. Then it opens up a new revenue of streams in DLC and microtransactions. And then ad says Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Over everything. Do you know what? I've never been into Yu-Gi-Oh! Never been into it. I was always a Pokemon guy. So... I mean, if you're telling me that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better than everything else, then I'm more than willing to give it a try. That said, I apologise for you audio listeners. I've just been taking a swig of my brew. You probably might have heard that. But moving swiftly on, now this is one that's probably near and dear to a lot of you guys that are in the chat as well. Likewise myself, it's something that I've wanted to see for a long time. If I can play this on my PlayStation 5 or on my PC, this will blow my heads off. But here we go. Written by Josh Coulson over at The Gamer, Grand Theft Auto Remastered Trilogy has been rated in Korea. The still unconfirmed Remastered Trilogy of the GTA games has now been rated in South Korea. Grand Theft Auto's Remastered Trilogy, which has yet to be officially announced, appears to have been confirmed thanks to a rating in Korea. It has been rumoured for months now, but the Rockstar is working on a remastered trilogy of 3 Grand Theft Auto games: GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Those rumours claim that the remaster bundle will launch on console, including Nintendo Switch, PC, and even mobile. However, Rockstar remains radio silent on the project, which isn't out of the ordinary for the studio. As is often the case, the remasters may have inadvertently confirmed thanks to a rating. The game appears to have been rated in South Korea Game Rating Administration Committee. While there is already so much information out there about the trilogy, the rating is the first official confirmation that the remasters are really happening. I've skipped way too far there. Some of the previously mentioned rumours hinted at the trilogy would be here for the end of 2021. That claim has been challenged, with the 2022 launch window seemingly far more likely. Considering how busy the release date is between now and the end of the year, and limited time Rockstar has at this point to officially unveil a project, 2022 does now seem like a far more realistic landing spot. Other than that, its rating in South Korea, the only other hint from the official sources of the trilogy now works comes from Rockstar itself. While GTA wasn't mentioned, it has confirmed that it is working on remasters of 3 of its classics. It seems almost nailed on that the studio was referring to its GTA collection when they dropped that information. Rockstar certainly needs something to stave off GTA fans who continually grow increasingly impatient. Many are eagerly awaiting news from GTA 6, which now looks like it won't even be here until 2025. The reveal of another The reveal of another trailer for GTA 5 on the next-gen consoles received a very negative reaction at its month's PlayStation showcase, quickly becoming Rockstar's second most disliked YouTube video ever. So, hands up in the chat. Who is waiting for a GTA Remastered Trilogy collection? And that is a mouthful that I never thought I'd be able to get through. I, for one, am. I think this is going to be... I mean, we've been streaming. We streamed on this channel last month. It might have even been the month before now. The Vice Cry version of Vice City, which is like the bells and whistles version, the ultimate version of Vice City. You cannot play a better version of it, whether or not it's graphically the best, whether or not the soundtrack's the best that's on it, because it's been modernized, not in terms of the tracks that are on it, but in terms of the sound that may have been playing for your PlayStation 2. It just sounds a lot crisper. It sounds like you're playing a Spotify playlist rather than it being dead grainy and off of vinyl potentially. It's just the bells and whistles, the dog's bollocks, the best version you could play of Vice City. We were streaming this on there, and I want to see that being able to get played everywhere. I don't want to have to mod this game to the absolute ends to try and get this game to work. I would just want to boot my PlayStation 5 up, boot my Nintendo Switch up and be able to play it. I'm not sure how it will play on mobile. I mean, you can play these versions on the mobile now, and I heard that they run exceptionally well. If I want to see a remastered version of this, is it graphically going to look the same? I'm not too sure, but I mean, a modernized version of it, with modernized controls, you can't really turn your nose up at that. GTA on the PlayStation 2 is unrivaled. Like you'll be hard pushed to try and find many other games and franchises that potentially stole as many people's hearts as that did right back then. And it's still well renowned now. There is people still streaming these games right this very minute. There's people still making content over on YouTube for these very games. So the fact that we may be getting a remastered versions of all of these games and all coming out as a bundle, yes, please take my money. I'm pre-ordering that, and I'm going to be getting it on launch day. Absolutely no questions asked. Timeless Source says San Andreas is by far my favourite GTA. Taze Bad says hi all. Ad says San Andreas is my favourite. Just San Andreas for Timeless Soul. And then Ad says please Rockstar. I mean, mine's Vice City. I think I'm not an 80s kid. I was born in 1990, but everything about the 80s has always had my attention, whether or not it's the music, whether or not it's the fashion, whether or not it's just like the whole aerobics and rollerblade and stuff. Like, it's just mind-blowing that was a thing. Like, I don't even know if aerobics is still a thing now. Like, it's just that whole time period. As people have time periods that they're always interested in, whether or not it's like the swinging 60s or like the disco 70s and things like that. Like, you always have a fixation on those type of things. It's usually well before your time as well. But the 80s is just mint. I mean, the San Andreas stuff is fantastic as well, because that just reminds me of the kind of Boys in the Hood, that kind of vibe. Whether or not it's the 90s hip hop, like your Biggie and your Tupacs and your Comptons and all that stuff. Obviously, that's what it's trying to emulate, and it does it very, very well, and it's a fantastic game. GTA 3 revolutionised the way that you play Grand Theft Auto games with the 3D design of the world rather than it being top-down view. So we have a lot to thank when it comes to Rockstar and these games, and the fact that they are still well-renowned now and people still want remasters of these games. Yes, please, I will take that. Timeless Soul says, Boys in the Hood, what a film, amazing. Tez Bad says, hi all again. How you doing? So yeah, I mean, I can't wait for this. You guys clearly can't as well. So that's definitely something that we want to keep on our radar. I imagine we're going to keep on talking about this because myself and Graham absolutely love these games. We adore them. And that's exactly what we like to talk about. We like to talk about things that we actually like rather than just sticking the boot in absolutely everything that we don't. Because what does that do? It does nothing for us. So yeah, more of this Grand Theft Auto Remastered Trilogy. Pretty plesh. I was going to finish with a Twitch story, but I think I'm going to move this up because I don't like leaving the podcast on negativity stuff. I tell you what I haven't done. I didn't see any Free Game Friday stuff, so I'm going to quickly go on to a website that usually gives us. Here we go. Yeah, I've got it. Don't worry. We will list this. We've got the Free Games Friday sorted out. So we're going to have 5 news stories rather than 4. How's about that on the fly stuff? Next news story. Twitch will let viewers pay to advertise their favourite streamers, written by Chris Scullion over at VGC. And he states, the new boost feature will charge viewers real money to increase a streamer's presence on the site. Can anybody already see where the flaws are in this? Before I even read this, and me just reading the title of the news story, can anyone see where the giant flaws are going to be in this process? I'll let you think about it while we go through the rest of the chat. So Twitch is adding a new feature that lets viewers pay money to advertise their favourite streamers on the site. The new boost features give viewers the option to buy a set number of boosts for a streamer. Each boost will highlight the streamer's channel by adding it as a front page recommendation for another Twitch user. Reading a prepared statement in the Twitch's latest patch notes, community stream product manager Jacob Rosak stated that Twitch will be trialing the new feature as with a select few Twitch streamers. What we're doing boosts is viewers the ability to buy super boosts and high visibility promotions for their favorite creators, and these type of placements will come with a cost. We think this is a great way to show support. Furthermore, we've heard directly from creators that it's hard to get their names out. It's hard to try and utilize different forms of social media to grow their channels, and our hope is that this is a more direct way for a viewer to try and help a creator do that. It's no secret that viewers are here to support their creators, and we think that paying to help a creator grow their community will be worthwhile for their supporters. Rosak also gave more details on how a boost process works. Boosts will only be purchased during a 10-minute period, during a time viewers will be able to pass as many boosts as they want. During the boost purchase period, community members can pay to make a boost as big as they'd like, says Rosak. Each community member's purchase will add more front page recommendations for creators. We'll call out the community who's made a purchase to show exactly how many recommendations the community has unlocked during the purchases rolling. Rosak claimed that the decision to add the boost functionality was based on similar to community challenges that took place last December, which resulted in over 100,000 streamer recommendations being purchased. However, they were instead purchased with channel points which are earned by participating on Twitch rather than real money. The notable difference this time is that viewers are now paying actual money to give their favourite streamers added exposure. Response to this news was mainly negative on Twitch chat accompanying the stream, with some viewers referring to it as pay to win and saying it just sounds like a cash grab. Okay. So, as I've read through that, it's got progressively worse. It's not the best at all. So, my immediate thoughts. I'm just going to take a swig of my brew before I move back as well. Uno secondo. So, sounds like a cash grab. That is your immediate thought, and that is my immediate thought, and I'll tell you why. The only people that this is going to benefit, and it's not the people who may potentially be getting front page exposure, because it will end up affecting them in a very positive manner. But ultimately, who is this going to affect? If you've got someone like Shroud, who has 126,000 people watching him play a launch game, and then people in his chat are starting to boost his, like, he doesn't need the boost. And that's not to say that he shouldn't deserve the boost, because he's got 126,000 people watching him. But forget about him being boosted. He will already be the most watched person on the platform. He doesn't need the boost. But the only people that are going to benefit from that are Twitch, because of how many people. There's potentially 126,000 people that will be paying for the boost. The streamer gets none of that money. Twitch will directly receive, if 126,000 people are paying £1 to be able to try and boost him. Shroud gets none of that money. Twitch get all of that money. So it's free money to them, because Shroud has already got 126,000 people watching him play a video game. So the only people that are going to benefit from that is obviously Twitch. Now, that's not to say that if this channel was to have that boost, and you guys, like the fucking legends that you've been over the last week or so, giving us donations and giving us gifties or subscribing for long periods of time, that money comes to us, obviously, with the Twitch tax that gets taken off, which is fantastic. We don't expect you to do that for us. Neither would we expect you guys to be able to try and promote us, because ultimately that money would never see the light of day with us. That money would go directly to Twitch. It doesn't matter if we're on the front page of Twitch. You guys come in every single weekday and you know where we are. If we end up eventually getting boosted, or someone puts us forward to be a front page of Twitch, that is absolutely fine. We'll take that. It's cost you nothing. It's cost us nothing, and we're getting all the exposure off of the back of that. What I don't want to see is you guys trying to promote us, having that money technically wasted, because if somebody else is getting boosted twice as much as we are, with their 100 community members that come and watch them every single day, then that's wasted money for you guys. If you end up boosting us to only 60 people, then that's a waste of money for you guys, because we aren't being, there'll be 500 channels with 100 viewers that are having that money being paid to them to have the front page of Twitch. The only people that this generates is Twitch. And you'd think, with all the shit that's going around at this moment in time with this platform, in terms of hate raids and the way that they've combated it, they have started to roll that out, and it's a news story which covered earlier. There has been an update to that, but to no update. So it's kind of the same news, it's just been regurgitated. So they have got the two-factor authentication now with email or mobile, which is a step in the right direction. It's taken way too long, but it now does seem to be the case where you have to do this stuff. There is bots like SiriBot that help these content creators that are getting hate raided. It stops that from happening. But this feels like another cash grab. There's no way that you can spin this that makes Twitch look good. Fair enough, they are trying to do stuff for the community, but using channel points would be the perfect way to do that. There is no way that you guys, if you are putting £1 towards us, that directly should go towards Twitch. There is no way that should be the case. They should not be benefiting off of your guys' generosity to try and help us. It shouldn't ever work like that. You guys are here, and some of you guys have got 250,000 channel points. Some of you guys have redeemed that to be able to try and have a free subscription and get put into the loot drop this week. On Monday. That's the benefits that we've put in place to give you guys something back. Twitch aren't doing that. They don't want your channel points. They rolled this out with channel points in December, and it was a huge success then, because people wasn't using their real money. They was using monetary value that they have gained on this channel. We have it down as sprinkles. Over on Twitch. You guys have a stupid amount of them, because you are here every single weekday. You're supporting us. You're commenting. You're sticking around. You are joining raids. You're doing all the stuff that makes a community worthwhile doing. And they've done that with the channel points in December, which was a success back then. But they've taken that monetary value that you have used from your community and changed that in exchange for real money. That is not okay. That won't do anything but give you negative press. And that's exactly what this article has listed. They have been getting negative feedback from it, which is cool, because they should be doing that. People who have been supporting their favourite streamers over a long period of time should not have their money taken out of their wallets to try and help that streamer get boosted. It would mean the world to us if that was the case, but we don't want you to use your real money. We want you to use the stuff that has enabled you to be part of this community in the first place, which is sticking around, which is using your channel points. I do not see a future where people are using money as a pay-to-win to help their favourite streamer get into the top of the rankings. That does not work. The economy and the ecosystem of Twitch will die with that. That is why most people will be moving over to YouTube. YouTube is still in its infancy when it comes over to live streaming, but they started to get things right already. This will not help your chances of becoming a good streamer by helping your community boost your channel. Like, who's to stop me from botting this stream right now? Who's to stop me from getting a bot that has 400 people come in, donate £1 during that boost period to then get me onto the top of the platform? I could have 4,000 people watching me at that point because I'm on the front page of Twitch, but there might be 20 people commenting. That is not unique, and the only people again who will be benefiting from that is Twitch, because they've taken those £4,001. They've taken £4,000 from me to try and boost myself on the front. I'm the biggest loser in that. I mean, I'll be on the front page of Twitch, and more people will be coming through. My analytics will be through the roof, but I am the only loser in that. So there will be ways to try and get around it, and I don't see this as being the perfect way to do it. Timeless Soul says it's hard enough to support another stream I watch. I can't afford it, let alone this. It's a very, very bad idea. Tino says puts on social hit. Good old capitalism and corporate greed being sold as a community benefit. It's ridiculous. Dave says I'd rather pay to get rid of the bandwidth limits at peak times to help my mates that stream, but get hit by the limits and lose a lot of mobile viewers. Exactly, yeah. I mean, if you aren't an affiliate or you ain't a Twitch partner, it's quite difficult for you to be able to stream at 1080. During peak times, it will get taken from 1080 down to 720, and that is a server issue, because they can't have that much bandwidth for you guys or everyone who's a partner or everyone who's not an affiliate to be able to have that. It's basically potluck. If you're in there before everybody else does and you're not affiliate or you're not a partner, you may be able to stream at 1080 one day and then you go do the same thing the next day, but because people are the server's reached its capacity, you can't do that anymore. It's kind of annoying, but Timeless Souls says exactly excellent points. I mean, I think that's the most rantiest I've ever been on this channel, and that's because I don't like you guys having your money taken out of your pocket for something that shouldn't be there in the first place. I feel the channel point system is there for a reason, and we've put all stuff in place to be able to try and get you guys to benefit from that, from us. Everything that, whether or not it's the loot drop, so you guys subscribe, we put you into our Discord, you be able to try and win a prize every single month, or whether or not it's you sticking around for so long that we can give you a tier 1 subscription because of the amount of time and dedication and the commenting and the sharing and all the stuff that you do as being a very fantastic community to us. We give you something back from that. Twitch is basically just asking for more money. They're asking for a Discord Nitro to be able to try and boost your Discord community. They're trying to find ways to try and take money out of your pocket to try and support us, and I don't like that. The fact that you guys have been able to subscribe to us during September because it's at its cheapest point, that is unbelievable. And we have had more subs on this channel this month than we ever have done, and that is unbelievable. And the fact that you guys are we're still able to give you something back with the loot drop and things like that, that is what we put in place in the first place. This isn't it, Chief. I don't like this, and I can't see this surviving very long with the way that the Twitch community react to stuff, and it's already been negatively impacted. So hopefully this won't last very long and they'll switch it back to channel points. That is the only way that this should be able to work. If you've got 250,000 channel points and you want to help boost us but with 100,000 channel points, by all means do that, because that will be fantastic. But if you're saying that each person will have to pay like £2 to be able to boost that, that's not it. And that is pay to win. That is the very definition of it. So yeah, that's Bibby rant over. That's a good 5 minutes, that, wasn't it? Christ. You love to see it. Thomas Soul says loot boxes and pay to win in streaming form. Exactly. Dave says there's an old saying that I think Twitch has forgotten about time is money. We're spending our time watching who we're watching, and Twitch is making money out of us. They're trying to find ways to try and make money. That's not a bad thing, but you've got to do it the right way, and not by taking money out of people's pockets to try and support a streamer to try and get them to the front page. I don't want to get to a point where me and Graham are going live with the scoop, and we may have, like at this moment in time, we have 15 viewers in here, which is fantastic. This is a small classroom worth of you. I'm at the front, and you guys are sat there at your desk listening to me talk about stuff. I'm not necessarily teaching you stuff. I'm just giving you an education on what's out there at this moment in time in terms of video game news. This is unbelievable. Like 15 people sat in a room listening to me talk about stuff. Fantastic. I don't want to get to a point where you 15 people are having to pay £1 to potentially have 30 people coming to this, or 400 people coming to this, or 4,000 people coming to this. That is not the type of the stuff that we want. And if we could disable this, I absolutely would, because that is not the community stuff that we want There may be people out there that obviously do want that because they want to get to the front page, but I don't want your money directly going to Twitch because that benefits absolutely nobody. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Tezbad said, "Teacher, can we go for a Splash Mountain, please?" Mate, I wish. I would love nothing more than to go to a theme park, especially a water one. That would be amazing. It's been ages since I've been to a water park. I think the last time I went to a water park was when me and the wife went to Florida, and I think that's 4 years ago now. So yeah, I would absolutely love one. Anyway, that's why I didn't want to finish on that, because that would have pissed me off going into the weekend. I like to finish on nice things. So, moving swiftly on. This has been written by Sean Worry over at The Gamer, and he states that Valve working on a standalone VR headset to compete with the Oculus Quest 2. I'm fairly certain you put this forward, Dave. Tell me I'm wrong, because I'm fairly certain you did this yesterday. But anyway, Valve might be working on a sequel to the Index, according to a new report. YouTuber Brad Lynch, who focuses mainly on virtual reality tech, has found evidence from patent applications and its own sources that Valve is working on a new standalone VR headset, much like the Oculus Quest. The Valve Index was released back in 2019, and although it's widely considered to be one of the best VR setups available, it requires a massive investment in both money and real estate thanks to its external sensors. The Index also needs to be powered by a fairly high-end gaming PC, which just adds to the cost. The Oculus Quest and Quest 2 don't require nearly as much tech thanks to the internal sensors and built-in processing power that lets play a limited selection of VR games all on its own. Valve's new headset, codenamed Deckard, according to Lynch, like the Quest, it won't require a PC tether and will come with some of its internal tracking and processing power, dramatically reducing its overall footprint when compared to the Index. Ars Technica collaborated with Lynch's video with their own sources. They also noted that the Index's development originally branched off from two VR prototypes, one which includes an internal processor like the Quest and one that didn't. Valve couldn't get the internal tracking process working right, and they decided to continue with what would later become the Index. What Lynch is reporting may be Valve reviving their old cancelled prototypes. However, it should be noted that Valve has a habit of prototyping things that internally never see the light of day. The Stream Deck's origin story, the full prototypes that never worked, so this latest Valve VR prototype may never see the light of day either. So, more VR stuff on the market. Fantastic. Do you want to know why? Because some of it is ridiculously expensive. Now, the Quest stuff, I think is about 300 cheats, which isn't the end of the world. I think that's probably middle ground stuff. That's actually cheaper than what what PlayStation released to work with the PlayStation 4. So I want to see how much this would cost. I would probably, if I had the money, if money was no option, £600 would probably be fantastic. And the Valve Index is, in my opinion, the be-all and end-all. It has fingertip tracing. You just need a massive room. That's the only problem with it. And a massive high-end PC. For everything that listed in a Valve Index, you're probably looking $2,200. Because I think the Valve Index at the time of launch was $1,100. Then you need a PC on top of that. And then you need the room. The Quest 2 was a different beast. My sister's got a Quest 2. And it is a very, very good piece of kit. I don't know whether or not you can actually plug it into your PC and use it as a normal VR headset, but the PlayStation, I think they released, the PlayStation have said it again, Jesus Christ, it's not like an old person who's talking about the Nintendos, but I'm not sure if you can plug this into your PC because PlayStation released theirs, and I think it was 500 cheats. I'm fairly certain it was 500 cheats. You may have got the two, what do you call them? I don't want to call them Joy-Cons because I know that's not what they are. They're like the sticks, the Move stick. The PlayStation Move, that was it. Yeah, it was like the PlayStation Move sticks. You got those as well as a couple of games and the camera as well. And I think that was 500 quid. For the headset, it could have just been 300. If you wanted to play like Resident Evil in VR, you can use your controller. But I'm fairly certain if you needed the Move controllers, they were a lot more expensive. So if you could stick 400 cheats on this, I think that would be mega. If you could stick this into your PC as well and be able to play all the VR games that are available on there, again, massive dub. So more VR headsets in the wild makes more sense because hopefully it brings the cost down of all the other ones as well so that everyone has a chance of being able to do it. The only time I played the VR headsets is either in the office or at Arcade Club. Again, if you've never been to Arcade Club in Bury, then you need to go. It's one of the best places in the world. When I go, it's the full day session. It's the 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's open till close. You've got to go all day. They've got a bar. They do food. They do the lot. And that's not a sponsored or a plug. I wish it was. I wish they would sponsor us and I get to go in for free, but I don't. I have to pay the 15 sheets on the door. But anyway, all this stuff, the more that's out there, the more chance that the prices around them will start to come down. And that's what we want. We want quality over quantity. And the more quality that's out there, hopefully the quantities of the other ones start to come down as well. So, yeah, more VR stuff. Dave says he did put it in this morning. About 4 o'clock. Why are you up so early, man? Do you not sleep? Are you do you sleep during the day and wake up during the night? Like, what? I need to know, man. Like, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm only dreaming about getting up at that time. Or I'm probably getting up to go for a piss. But, yeah, there's no way I'm getting up at that time if I don't need to. But anyway, we've got one final news article for today. And you guys know what it is. I very nearly forgot it. And I didn't put it in the social video. And I very much apologise for that. But you guys love free shit. We love to tell you about free shit that's out there. So, our last news article of the day, written by Tom Ivan over at VGC. He states next week's free Epic Games Store titles have been announced. PC Building Simulator will replace Europa Universal's, is that 5? Which currently is free to download. Next week's free games store has been revealed. PC Building Simulator will be free to download from the 7th of October to the 14th, and it replaces Empire Building Europa Universals. I think that's 5. I could be completely wrong there. Which is normally £31.99, but it's currently free to download until October 7th. We're not going to read any of this stuff because they genuinely just put this stuff in every single week to try and boost their, I don't know, the letters per article or whatever. But all you need to know is that you've got one game now that's worth £32 that you can dip in and get. Next week, you get PC Building Simulator. These simulator games are everywhere at the moment, aren't they? Whether or not it's Farming Simulator, whether or not it's Flight Sim, whether or not it's Train Sim, whether or not it's Euro Truck Sim, whether or not it's like House Flipper, whether or not it's video PC Building Simulator or Car Mechanic Simulator or Surgeon Simulator. The list can go on, but they are everywhere. So is this one that you'll potentially want to pick up? Maybe, but it's free. So if you have got the Epic Games Store, please open it up. Get this added to your list. Even if you don't want to download it now, add it to your list. You can play it again 3 years down the line where it starts to take off on Twitch and you think, I've already got that game. I'm going to download it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. Again, this is a dollop. It's only me talking. I don't like talking too much. So this is 50 minutes straight of me whinging to you guys about all the things around the world. But we are going to be going live again later on today. I say later on, it'll probably be like half an hour. I'm just going to downstairs, get some toast or whatever, refresh my drink, and we'll jump back on again. It probably is going to be Mafia. I want to get that out of the way. But we have got some Insurgency Sandstorm. We have got Predator Hunting Grounds. We have got other games installed on there as well. So who knows? We may end up switching between a few today. So again, very much appreciate every single one of you that have stuck by today. For all you guys that have hosted us, for all you guys that are joining in the chat, again, appreciate it. But if you want to help shape next week's shows, there is 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. All we need from you is URL plus your thoughts and impressions. Myself and Graham will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will probably not be around 10 a.m.-ish. But who knows? Who knows? You won't know until we actually go live, or you follow us on all of our social media profiles. But again, appreciate all you guys that have stopped by today. If you are new around here, obviously give us a follow. You'll be notified when we are going back live again in about half an hour's time. But as always, guys, there's 2 things that I want you to do. First of all, I want you to look after yourselves. And second of all, you've got to stay frosty.